Welcome to the place where atheists can find what they're looking for. As atheists look for community, as atheists look for confirmation of their beliefs, ironically in the form of a Christian, but when you hear the opposite of what you believe, then it only confirms what you already believe. So that's why people are drawn to my channel who are atheists. Here's what we're going to explore today in this particular video. Let's ask me a question. Here's the question we're going to ask me. How would my life be improved if I were an atheist? I just thought of that myself. That actually wasn't, usually most of my videos are based on comments I receive. I was just driving in my car and I thought about it. How would my life improve? How would my quality of life get better if I were no longer a Christian and I were an atheist? Probably ultimately what got me thinking about this is the fact that I refuse to debate with atheists about the existence of God. And that's like almost the theme of this channel. A Christian who refuses to debate with atheists, but keeps these conversations going with atheists. There's definitely a paradox in there. There's definitely appeal in that also. It kind of sets apart what you typically expect between an exchange between a Christian and an atheist. But ultimately I feel that when people who are new to this channel, new to these videos, and they start out with the attempted insult, which again, I don't give you that kind of power of my emotions, and the attempt to debate, and they haven't figured out yet that that's one of my rules. I refuse to debate about God existing. What we'll see in that is, in that attempt to want to debate, what I'm looking at there is, in their minds, they're thinking, if only I could save that Christian. If only I could save him from this whole, and it's funny because people will leave comments. They'll say, Nick, don't you realize you've been blinded this whole time? That you could take off the blinders and suddenly see the truth? Nick, don't you realize that you're sitting down in a chair, handcuffed to this chair in a dark room, but Nick, all you have to do is take off the handcuffs, turn on the light, and walk out? Don't you realize that, Nick? You've been indoctrinated. You've been fooled. You've been brainwashed, Nick. None of this is real, Nick. You could leave right now if you want to. So here's the thing. I had made a video called 5 Reasons Atheists Can't Get Through to Christians Like Me. And this one, hardly anyone is willing to address this. So I think I need to make this video to specifically address this fact. Keep in mind that what I do for a living is ultimately sales. I'm a recruiter, but ultimately I have a quota. I'm good at what I do. I'm above average at what I do. That's a talent of mine. And when you're good at sales and marketing, something you know is that, and by the way, I like to be honest. I think it's important. Yes, my videos are over 10 minutes. YouTube has an algorithm that promotes videos that are over 10 minutes long because YouTube is competing with TV and Facebook. They want you to spend as much as you can on YouTube so that you're not watching TV or on Facebook. That's what they want. So they reward YouTubers with longer videos. Bionic Dance knows this too. Most of her videos are over 10 minutes long because she makes revenue like I do. She just makes a lot more and then asks for more money through Patreon or whatever it is, and people give her that money. So we're not hypocrites for making money off of our videos. It's just part of YouTube culture. YouTubers know this. They just don't, let me talk about it much. I'm a rebel and I talk about it. I think it's important to acknowledge that. So with that being said, what this video is about, again, is asking this question: would my life be better if I were, or how would my life be better if I were an atheist? Because people who debate me basically are saying that I'm living in this illusion and I need to escape. Okay? So I'm trying to ask myself this question: how would my life be better? How would my life be better if I were an atheist, if I didn't believe in God? So here's the thing. So what I was saying about the whole sales thing is, I know, as ultimately a salesman in my real job, is that you have to figure out what motivates that potential buyer. And you can't assume, even though there are generalities, and most people, if they're going to look for, maybe say, they're going to buy a new house, not all people are looking for that new house for the same reason. So if you treat them the same as all, it's good to know the general rule, but also you need to know What's their motivation? People have different motivations, anxieties, fears, etc. You have to know what their radio station is tuned into, what they're looking for. Because while it's good to know in general what works, sometimes you have to know, but what are the exceptions to the rule? Okay, so this person actually cares more about this thing and buying the product. So that's what I'm going to tune into, not what I normally say. And see, that's how I am as a Christian when atheists speak to me. They think that I'm just another emotionally unintelligent Christian who is going to argue with them, and I'm not. So what motivates me and us even having these conversations? It is ultimately, and it is ultimately knowing that for me, how I'd have to even see what the advantage would be when my life is already good. And the concept of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It ain't broke. I enjoy my life. My life is great. I thank God for everything I have because of Him. I don't want anything to change. I like my life. So already, that's one of the many reasons I have no interest in even trying to debate whether God exists. Because, and I know I might as well throw it out there, Pascal's wager. Let's go and say it. But ultimately, if I'm wrong in the end, I don't lose anything. I already like my life. I'm already at peace. I enjoy everything I have. Life is good. And the fact that I have hope in life after this, the fact that I live with that amount of hope, even though atheists would say, well, that's ignorant, that you're living in ignorant bliss. But I'd say, I like this life. I like this way. If this is an illusion, which I don't believe it is, I like this illusion. I get to live my life with that amount of hope. And if I am wrong in the end, I'll never know it. I'll never get confirmation that I was wrong. I will live my whole life as a Christian believing all these things, having hope, enjoying what I already have, not really needing or really longing for any kind of particular improvement in my life. Life's good. So, as an atheist, how can you say, well, if you were an atheist, your life would be better because then you wouldn't be blinded anymore. You wouldn't be ignorant anymore. You wouldn't be locked up in that room anymore. I'm fine with this. I like this. If atheists are right, I will not get confirmation that I was wrong. Is what's weird about this. Let's assume I live to be 75 years old. I live my whole life as a Christian, believing all these things. And then I die, and then the atheists are right, and consciousness ceases to exist. It's like before I was born. It's not like right before that there's anyone who can say, hey Nick, this whole time you were wrong, now you're dead. Well, then I'd be dead and I wouldn't have time to even process that I was wrong that whole time. I'm never going to get confirmation that I was wrong if I am wrong. I am going to get confirmation that I'm right if I am right in my Christian beliefs. But ultimately, it ain't broke. I don't need to fix it. I'm at peace, which is something I perceive about and if you haven't watched my videos about atheist culture, watch them, because I believe it does exist, even though the first rule of atheist culture is to deny that atheist culture exists. But something I perceive in general about atheists is that they are not at peace. They're looking for that confirmation. They're not at peace. I'm at peace. I'm not looking to validate but am I right about God existing? Am I looking for confirmation? Well, how can I prove that God? No. I believe. It's that simple. I choose to believe. Therefore, I have hope. And my life is already good because of all that God has given me. I don't see how in the world my life would be any better if I stopped believing. Because then, I already have peace. I might be jeopardizing that peace. I have hope. I might be jeopardizing that hope. If anything, I can only see how I would lose my version, my perspective, even if it's an illusion. I would lose that. I don't want the perspective of an atheist. I don't want that lack of hope that there is something beyond this life. I don't want lack of peace that I already have. I cannot see how becoming an atheist would help a guy like me. No. It would be pointless. So notice how we're not debating whether God exists, what we're doing. If anything, I'm telling you, look, for atheists who love to argue and debate, I guess this is the closest thing I'm going to give you to this, and that is, tell me how, as a salesman, pretend that you're a salesman like I am, speak my language, figure out what motivates me and inspires me, and answer the question, how would my quality of life and existence improve if I stopped believing in God? How would I not lose what I already have when I already love what I have? And specifically, we need to address what I had said a moment ago. Specifically, I'm never going to get confirmation that I was wrong. As long as we're alive as human beings, we're never going to get confirmation that God doesn't exist. We won't get that confirmation. So even if atheists are right, I black out, I'm dead, and I was wrong, I'll never know it because I will cease to exist, my consciousness. But specifically, I'll have no time to sort and unpack the fact that I was wrong. I will simply cease to exist. The more I talk, the more I'm like, yeah, it would make no sense for a guy like me to become an atheist. There's no draw. There's no selling point. When you're already at peace, you already have joy. You're already happy. But you're the salesman. The pitch is yours. Pitch it to me. How is my life better if I become an atheist? I have a feeling this will therefore create more videos. Your comments right here.